Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Happy Saturday. Hope you are doing amazing. I am, as a matter of fact. Thank you for asking. Today is January 13th. Yep, and I do have a cup of tea today. I know I haven't shared my Yogi tea bag in a while, and I'm actually not sure if I've had this message before, but it's certainly worth sharing again if so. So, hear me out. Inner peace creates peace in the world. Get into it. Definitely in line with some of the messages that have been coming up over the past week about how your own personal projection of passion, peace, prosperity, and all the things of the like are sufficient, even more than sufficient, extremely impactful to the greater impression on the collective. So I pray that you are cultivating a space of peace today, whether it be just in relaxation or with others that share that synergy with you, encourage it, cover you in it, or doing the things that, bring peace to your mind and into your spirit. Meditation, prayer, again, just resting, or some hobby, or having fun, because sometimes having fun can be peaceful as well, right? Just to be able to release some endorphins. I think that's what they're called, right? Certainly that's a peaceful state of being as well, enjoying yourself. So I wish it all for you. All right, so let's get started. The wind is howling like crazy today. The sun is shining. You see we got some sunlight. Well, a little bit you can see on the table. But it's been mostly sunny today, but every now and again the clouds cover it up. But the wind is just like ferocious. So take that as you will, but also just keep that in mind if you just so happen to hear it like that in the background. That's just spirit chit-chatting, adding its 2 cents in real time. So we got the Knight of Cups. How convenient as I take a sip. We got the Knight of Cups. Some type of offer, an emotional offer. We don't gotta go too deep on this. Let's just see what the hell the Knight of Cups wants. Because you never know with the Knights. You just gotta kind of wait for the details and then still use your discernment. But I guess it just depends what energy you're sitting in, because hey, if you're a damsel in distress, you might be happy to see a knight coming, especially with a love offer. But sometimes with the Knight of Cups, it can be a seductive energy, a bit finessing, sometimes manipulative. And even if it's not, and it's in a higher vibration of someone really coming to offer an endearing message, or to propose an exchange of some emotional connection of sorts, you still get to consider what's in it for you. Because one thing about the Knights is that their eyes, this is how I see them anyway, their eyes they always have an intended motive or an objective. So it's pure, where I should say is well-meaning as the offer may be, it still comes with some intention of reciprocation. Now, it could be just as simple as someone that just wants to exchange love vibes with you or exchange pleasantries. And with it being a Knight, it may just be something that has room to develop depending on how it's nurtured. There's that in a very high vibration. or it could just, just be something with much more left to explore, in terms of the depths of that connection. But there definitely is something that the night is looking to receive, as opposed to say the pages, they're just coming to bring a message or give a message or share some information. The night is looking for an exchange. So that's why I say it just comes down to the motivation and the intention behind the night's offer and advance, and whether or not it aligns with what is valuable, highly valuable, dare I say, to you, because this could be the Knight of Cups could be a fling, or a whirlwind romance, so to speak. Or it could be something that I said, like, starts off small. You go out for a cup of coffee and you end up talking for hours, and then might as well grab dinner type of thing, that type of vibe. So it just, you never know. Let's see what we got here, though. I have never given the Knights that much airtime, so clearly there's something. Maybe for good reason, because here is the Death card. Interesting. What's this? I just want to see. No way. Now, y'all saw that. Hold up. I've never done that. You know that if you've been watching. I don't just be like I move how the spirit, moves me. Let's just keep it real. And I really don't make apologies or concessions for it. Sometimes I'll feel guided to take a card, and sometimes I won't. Sometimes I feel guided to read the bottom. Sometimes I don't, but that was sticking out so profusely that I felt I wasn't going to take it. I just want to see what it was saying. And here is what it's saying. But I still don't know what it's saying, because it's like the Death. Let's see what's on the other side of the Death card. That might give us some more, because we got the Knight of Cups going into the Death card, which could be, I was about to say, it could be transformation. It could be. Remember, I was saying that with the Knights, we'll see how the rest plays out, because like I said, you can never speak too soon or be too certain. But what I was saying with the Knight of Cups, like, it could be something that starts out small or simple, like a coffee date, or drinks at a bar or at a restaurant or whatever, and then it ends up, hell, like this look like this looked like we went from coffee at lunch to dinner to maybe breakfast. So y'all be careful. I told you, the Knight is a finesser. He will talk you out your drawers if you let him. Some people, like the Knight of Wands is like the obvious Playboy card, right? That people are on guard for when we're talking about the Knights, because he's the alpha male. He's ambitious, he's driven, he's the bold one that's just going like, he's the party animal. So you kind of can see, you can kind of read their cards up front. But it's the Knight of Cups you got to be careful about, because these are the sweet nothings. Not even the sweet nothings, because that might even be more of the Knight of Swords, the talk a good game. It's just like the Knight of Cups is like the eyes and the intently listening to every word that comes out of your mouth, and keeping eye contact with you whole time, like so completely engulfed and engaged in every single thing that you're saying and doing, and knowing just the right time over that coffee or drinks to interject or, agree or add their 2 cents. A lot of times we're talking about water energy, particularly Scorpio is always the go-to when you're thinking about the depth of water and its mysticism and mystery. And you don't know what they're thinking all the way, but they're sending you the vibes, whatever vibes they want you to pick up on, usually, so that's what I'm saying. Like, you gotta be careful because it just depends on what type of vibe you on or in the mood for, because it can be quite seductive and intoxicating. Literally, say y'all out for drinks and you end up in a situation that is very transformative. I mean, hell, this is a baby in this sun card here. But I don't feel caution here. I gotta say, even with the death card, it just feels like a quick transformation. I mean, it's hard to really feel something negative with the sun because that's the most positive, productive, and prosperous card in the deck. Like, that's good things to look forward to. But not really a but. It's just that, like I said, it really just comes down to what you're in the mood for. And I don't mean that in a primitive way, but what are you engaging in or allowing yourself to be engaged into, Because whatever it is, just know that it has the potential to take off and kind of almost like have a life of its own, literally a little life of its own. So that means if you're going on casual dates, it may be up to you if you feel guided to. Not in paranoia, of course, unless you're feeling like, oh, this don't feel right. Like, I feel like I'm getting finessed. I feel like all they want is, X, Y, and Z. But it may cause for you to kind of set the tone or set the pace a bit with those experiences that almost do feel like they're sucking you into a whirlwind, and not because you're afraid to mess it up or afraid to do something, like to ruin it, but just to be clear, let the sun expose all corners of the experience for all parties, fairly, honestly, so that there's clarity about what the engagement is, if that makes sense. What did we start with? What card was it? Oh, it was the damn Knight of Cups, who said, nah, I got something to say. I want to come out on this board. They are very, very persistent, let's say, about this offer. Let's see what else we got. Somebody is very persistent. They may not want to take no for an answer to coffee or drinks. Oh, look at this. Not taking no for an answer. What in the hell? It's like they want to keep it flowing. They're like, you ready? You think should we call it quits? Oh no, I'll have another. You want another? Like that type of vibe, like, no, I'm not quite ready to go yet. Like I said, drinks or coffee turns to lunch, lunch turns to dinner, dinner turns to freaking breakfast in the morning, okay? This is so funny to me. Ooh, hold on, I need another sip. And listen here, I'm gonna tell you right straight up and down, my son is a product, not immediately out the gate the first night, but he is ultimately a product of a whirlwind exchange. Now, at the time of it, when we first met and engaged, I just felt it. I just knew, and he said he did too, meaning my son's father. And we just were like immediately just like magnetized, like it was very fast, it was fast. Everything about it was fast and continuous until, whoop, before I knew it, here comes baby boy. But I will say that, first of all, I couldn't have had the joy in my life that I have if not for it being what it was and what I allowed it to be, because wasn't doing anything that I didn't want to do. I felt very engaged and obliged to move the way that I did. However, always in hindsight, right? Or I wouldn't even say in hindsight, but on account of the experience that I had in the long run, I now have a much greater reverence for taking your time, even when it feels right. Because I'm a Sagittarius, so my idea of feels right sometimes is different from others. Like, we thrive on experience and connection and just kind of seeing where the adventure takes us, and it'll be no love lost even if it were to completely go to shit in the end. Like, the experience will be worth it all. And I still feel that way, like, for all the ups and downs and highs and lows, even to this day, of my exchange. Of course, the highlight is the fact that I have a beautiful son that I wouldn't have had otherwise. And I couldn't have had it not been through the chain of events and experiences and choices, I should say, that were made. So that aside, I also have a greater appreciation for taking your time and getting to know what you're truly getting yourself into. Like, it's probably, it's still easier said than done because of the true nature of who I am, that I'm just like, yeah, let's go for it, So I'm saying this, but it still would even be an act of discipline and discernment on my part to want to pump my brakes on one of those, and we all know them, those exchanges where you meet up and you meet up for dinner, or like I said, for drinks or something, and you end up shutting the restaurant down, and you don't want to really part ways with this person because you just feel the connection and the synergy, and like, you would want to just go home with them in that moment, or in that night. And I'm not saying you shouldn't, because obviously there's something very promising here on the horizon with the sun and now the Ace of Cups. And I feel good about that under the Knight of Cups, because that speaks to what I said, that it having the great potential to transform in an accelerated way and be more than what you initially thought it was going to be, or maybe what you even planned for it to be. I'm just saying, from personal experience, it ain't nothing wrong with taking your time and extending that adventure out a bit, allowing yourself to be, to have something to look forward to, and not trying to like indulge in it all in one full swoop, let alone one night. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, because here's that, it could quickly as it turns into something positive, a false move, it could end up being something, it could go the other way, you know what I mean? And it just be on account of not allowing yourself to see, like, woo, now it's getting nutty. Yeah, and so it's exactly that, because what I'm feeling is that there may be multiple opportunities or advances. The Knight of Cups was on the bottom of the deck first, and then he came back out. Perhaps it could be multiple, and that's the thing, like how I brought up my son's father. It's like, you could even have an experience that's reminiscent of another time that could do one or two things. It could make you lean into it because it feels familiar, or it could make you resist it and be afraid of it because it feels familiar. I could have the propensity to do either one, which is why it really comes down to allowing, as I said, the sun to illuminate the big picture and the small details. To give it time to see if any red flags show themselves, even in the midst of the great conversation and having fun. Like, really listen to what people are saying to you about who they are and their experiences. Like, consider, especially with narcissistic tendencies running amok throughout humanity, people do a great job of mirroring you at first and making you feel like you have everything in common. And I feel you've been conditioned enough now and experienced at this point to know what that feels like and what something truly pure feels like. So that's the disparity here, like really knowing what to say no to, because you can see the potential for it to, for it to be derailed or just to eventually just lead to an unhappy ending in some way, shape, or form, but also being open to the possibility of what something could, what could evolve of something that you weren't planning for it to do so. Like it literally could go any way, but it seems to me that there's a great deal of variety at hand. That's what it feels like. Yeah, and here goes the Queen of Wands. Makes perfect sense because she's an attractive queen. Like she would have a lot of suitors, a lot of choices, a lot of options, or at least people that would want to offer or just even to be in her company. Like I said, some people are in it for a good time, some for a long time, some for both, and some for neither, if you know what I mean. Some people are here just to do damage and be about their way, or some people are in for the long haul to do damage. So it's like you really gotta look with the Hangman, that are really looking for the long con, if you know what I mean, that they see an ideal match and they would want to position themselves to present themselves to be a committed partner or to have something of high value to offer, when they really just want to extort your energy, unbeknownst to you. Just pretty much soak up everything that you have to offer. So the Hangman here is representative of enlightenment. And I would say to me, it's just, as I was saying already, it's just the presence of the enlightenment that you already possess because of what? Your experiences. The Queen of Wands has had a great deal of experiences because she doesn't mind letting her wanderlust guide her, especially in her less in her evolving years. I would say, particularly with the Queen of Wands, like there's more liberation to explore there, which isn't a good, bad. It's not a good or bad thing. It just is, and depending on who you're talking to is the matter of opinion. But for the Queen of Wands, one thing about it is usually she's had some experiences that she's learned from, like this is Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy here, where you learn from the ways that you've been burned or even burned yourself on account of your curiosity and your boldness and your courage to just have fun, you know what I mean? So, but what that transmutes into, if you've become the Queen of Wands now in the highest vibration, and given this is the Queen under the Ace of Cups, that's the signature here, that is somebody that has gained a great deal of wisdom from their experiences and knows when she sees something that is, that looks a little too familiar for comfort, or something that looks quite familiar enough, to engage with a different mindset though, and a different self-control. Yeah, with these two here, that's what this definitely is, because the Hangman is obviously not flying off the hinges. He's going to wait to be enlightened. And the Queen of Wands has found some mastery in her energetic force, simply in her self-control over her power, her prowess. You being an attractive force, you learn how, what to be engaged with and what not to. Otherwise, you'd be just out here doing anything, which to some people are, and it is what it is. But you know what I mean? It's just like you've learned. I don't think I'm gonna take this, but I just want to see what it is. Am I taking this? No, I don't feel good about it. But we got the Five of Cups, and yeah, like I'm not taking this. The Five of Cups, which is some depression or shame or remorse. Yes, like this is the energy that will want to be project. Yes, thank you, Spirit. Like I love how my it's a personal thing, but I just love how this is what I was saying about I know when to take some things and I know when not to. And this, I felt this energy immediately, like I ain't taking this, because this is a projection right here. With this is like how society would want a so-called Queen of Wands, which ultimately is just a woman in her pure confidence. It could be masculine or feminine, but it's the expression of confident feminine force, you know, fierce feline force, or however that term goes, you know, that is also grounded. That's a very intimidating being, you know, not just somebody that just is flying off the seat of, you know, the seat of her pants literally through and following her passions or even her lusts, but this is somebody that's confident in her passion. She knows exactly how to project it. She's selective about it, and she's also courageous enough to know it just how powerful it truly is. You know how powerful she is, like the impact and the effect that she may have on those people, places, and things that she engages with. That's a powerful feminine energy to be in, and the societal standards would want you to reject that audacity, to almost feel ashamed of this inflection of I don't even know what to call it, like sensuality to some degree, like to make you be coy about it, or either one, like either to be coy or to even self-sabotage yourself, as I said, and overextend your vibration and end up in entanglements that ultimately depreciate your frequency. Either one would be the intention of the patriarchy to some degree, and we're talking about the energetic force, not men in general, you know, or exclusively, but that force that would want to be opposing to that power, because it's you know, it's, you can't really dominate that force once it's solidified and secure, and then it has less value to those that would want to be controlling and possessive in some ways, to feel, you know, themselves to be more exalted and established in their own power force. Like that goes out the window with a woman who knows that she's just as beautiful and smart and confident and you know, like she's well within her rights to project a certain confidence, you know, like to live within a certain means of courage, no matter what her choices are, or even where her choices have been, because there's that too, that even as I was speaking about having evolved in the ways that I see the world based on my experiences, but yet and still not having any, definitely not feeling any guilt and shame or remorse about my choices, just knowing that now in this stage in my life, I would probably do some things differently, you know, but I can't take back what I've done because I see too much value in the experiences that I had up until this point. Yeah, the world don't want a woman to feel like that, not holistically speaking, because then you're less susceptible to being controlled in these familiar relational exchanges, as I said, where you're more susceptible to being dominated or manipulated energetically by way of this force here, emotionally, particularly back to the Knight of Cups and how it could be this or that, right? But this is the projection piece here, to ultimately have you self-sabotage yourself or be more susceptible to being sabotaged or betrayed or damaged in some way. So it's just Exactly, right here, in a card, right here. Like, just energies that don't mean you any good. They see what your, how your frequency, and they want to be a part of it, but they don't really want to add to it. They just either want to absorb it and be on their way, or control it, to monopolize it, or, monetize it in some way. I don't even know why I'm saying that, because the Five of Pentacles is on here. Yeah, and leave you high and dry, while they use your energy to come up in some type of way. Transmute your love vibes into something prosperous for them. Like I said, you got to be wary of that Knight of Cups, because there's always a purpose for the advance. King of Wands. Yeah, and see what, look at this here. So this energy here with the Seven of Swords is thinking that they're getting away with what, I don't know, on the King of Wands, who's just looking at them like, you fool, you imbecile. But the Seven of Swords is never really going far with his trickery. At some point in time, it catches up with them. But we'll see on his way too. But the Queen of Wands, who would be the proper counterpart to the King of Wands. See the intention here? Some are here to manipulate and I don't know, infiltrate, let's say, I don't know. And some are here for, very serious reasons. The King of Wands is somebody that the Queen of Wands would want to see coming in the right vibration. In the highest vibration, sure. For sure. Let's see what's over here with the King of Wands. Yeah, shit, jump in the boat at a moment's notice. Sorry, I hit the light. At a moment's notice, honey. Like, what you had said, meet you where, what time? Okay. Like, two adventurers together, willing to take the plunge, or, you know what I mean? Bon voyage, motherfuckers. For real. For real. But even more reason and reference to my other statement about really making sure that you're considering all of the possibilities, like really being discerning and being wise in your decision making. Because like I said, two fire signs can definitely, run off into the sunset literally without a second thought. And it could be great. It could be amazing. I just feel compelled to say, and I ain't gonna lie to you, because I know me, so I know that if the opportunity presented itself, it wouldn't even, it would be harder for me to resist certain synergies than it would be for me to just go. That's why I'm saying this for a purpose, because your first instinct, as it would be for two fiery signs, enlivened with passion per se. You don't have to be a fire sign to understand what I'm talking about. These are two people that, like I said, off of that first encounter or that first coffee date, that first dinner or drinks meetup, it's like, oh, this is it. I'm all in. That's the energy. Like, what's up? Let's run away tomorrow type of vibes. And so there's definitely that there, but even though that might be the instinct, it's still enough for me to caution to the influence, the influence that you're under, and also the long-term influence of your immediate decision making. Like, what's it going to yield? If it's still, you know, if it's this magical now, then perhaps you can allow it to breathe and, you know, really let those flames breathe and see if they'll still be blazing in another week or two or a month or so. You feel me? You know, if you have that type of time. But hey, who am I to say? You may not. You may not. I don't know. You absolutely may not. It might be a do or die situation, but just literally do or die situation. Wow. It could be something like that. And that's why I'm saying what I'm saying, because, all right, so you just have to take it how it resonates for you, because, like I said, for me, it would be a matter of discipline. However, which would be the challenge, is what I'm saying, because I would be down for the adventure to some degree, or that would be my natural inclination. But maybe you're one that overthinks everything, you know? So it could be a matter of a missed opportunity, which is why the discernment really is key. And it's not just a matter of gauging it by all your previous experiences, pound for pound, because it could be something that is familiar to some degree, but still, this isn't that type of thing. We're living in a different time frame, which I've said, time feels like it's accelerating, if you ask me, you know, where you could be propositioned, and even if this isn't a love energy or a connection, because that's also the other thing, you know, I kind of failed to really say that because I went off on the whole Knight of Cups vibe, because that's what I was feeling, but it could be a proposition of some other nature that is almost a portal. Ooh, it's like a portal of sorts with the Death card and the Sun, where it is transforming you into another space and timeline to some degree, that would ultimately could lead to something very desirable. And it's like literally a matter of do or die. Like, you choose this, you accept this over here, you reject it, and you may miss the opportunity of a lifetime, literally miss the boat, you know what I mean? So you really, like that. That's why what I said still stands, is that you just gotta be in tune with what you're in the mood for. What are your feelings? What is your emotional intelligence saying to you? Because it may be a much different situation than you ever encountered, especially with such a urgency of expectation for choice and decision on the line. In this case, a yes or no could make all the difference in, you know, opening the floodgates to, yeah, like here this card is again. That's what I was seeing it too when I was talking about familiarity. Opening the floodgates, and then see how it's come back out again as I'm saying what I'm saying, because it's like the Six of Cups, it could be a familiar energy that's not worth regenerating or not worth revisiting, or it could be something really great that's evolved or has revolved in a new space and time that you would want to reconsider, you know, let alone re-engage all over again. So this is one of the ones where you just gonna have to, like, literally, you're gonna have to be calling in your own intel and really paying attention to the signs and synchronicities that make sense. Like I said, paying attention to what whomever is offering is really saying, and also the energy that your senses are firing off as to the reception of that message, because it seems more communicative than anything, at least initially from this offer. I guess, like, obviously it would be, right? But it seems like in whatever form the offer presents itself is leading with an emotional impression. So it may be something, as I said, that literally is of a familiar form, meaning somebody you used to know or somebody that you would have a softened heart for already. Or it could be someone that's just leading with just very upfront. When I'm thinking of the Knight of Cups in this moment now, somebody that's just leading, like just really telling you what's, just really sharing all what's on their heart in real time and their emotions, and really just kind of letting it spill, not really holding much back, which you may not be used to per se, or you may be a bit guarded, from, because it's like, whoa, like where's, first of all, if you just met and that's a thing and it's like, whoa. But then if it's something that you're not used to coming from a particular person, maybe that has come back around, it might be cause for like a whoa, where's all this coming from? You know what I mean? Where, like, who are you? But look, here's some evolution here. I mean, some transformation that has occurred, which says that what it looks like or what it presents itself to be either has the potential to be something much more than how it's packaged, or that it has been transformed into something much more than perhaps you remember it, or that you just would expect or anticipate it to be. So it's like, really, it's really tricky. Like, I don't know, you're gonna have to be real. You're gonna have to have them senses on, honey. It's interesting. Yeah, because then here we go, like with the Five of Swords under, oh geez Louise, under the Seven of Swords. Now that doesn't make me feel good. And then the King of Cups. But see what I'm saying? It's like you got to be careful, because then the King of Cups is out here. Yeah, but see, him down here, him downstairs, like what's her name? Who's that? Oh, pretty Oracle. She always says him downstairs when she talk about the devil. So get into it. That's what I just said. But him down here with the King of Cups, like, yeah, you're gonna have some decisions to make, some things to consider. But I feel like I'm coming off with it feeling like it's going to be a conundrum, like, oh my God, who do I choose? What do I do? But I don't really think that it will be for you. First of all, I think if you take even just the breath to consider, like even if we're not talking about like, oh, I'm making him wait 90 days type of thing before we kiss or whatever, like that type of time extension. But even within the moments that you're engaging in whatever this exchange is or offer or whatever, slowing it down in real time internally, to consider what you're experiencing, what's being said, what's being illuminated, all of that good stuff. And even in that moment, I feel like your senses will be well tantalized to know what you should do. Like if this is something that has the potential to be a good match, or if this is something that's presented itself to be one thing, but in truth, there's some poor, like this is like a potential for a toxic cycle to be regenerated. The type of familiarity, as I said, that you don't want to recreate. Lying, cheating, deception, somebody that's in competition with you, a little bit jealous of you to some degree. Like I said, they just want to get up in your energy. Look, you got the Ace of Cups, and this was rejected in one form before with the Four of Cups. now that I'm backtracking on it, like I said, someone that doesn't want to take no for an answer, well, here it is. They don't want to take no for an answer because in some regards, people now see that you've matured in your Queen of Wands energy. You're not just, you know, what do you call it? Like the good time gal anymore. You know, like now you're the good time gal with wisdom, with knowledge of your worth and courage and confidence and creativity. You know, everything is online for you now, and you're wiser about, more selective, I should say, about your choices and who you even party with, even if you are in for a good time, you know, and all in love with the Ace of Cups here. So there's just like your stock price has risen tremendously, and you're not first of all, you're probably the last to really know, but you're definitely not the only one to know if you already do. That people are actually observing just how valuable your energetic force is, whether or not they want to mean well by it and with it, or they just want to plug in, if you know what I mean. And that's the energy here. Somebody wants to come back around like, oh, you looking good, girl. What you been up to? How you been? What's going, you know what I mean? Like trying to start something up again, like, but they ain't got nothing good to offer. Not with the Five of Swords. Under the Seven of Swords. This is somebody that just wants to beat out the competition for their own personal gain. You know, it's like, they don't really want to be the King of Cups. Or they may not even be able to be. You know, there's that. They may not be may truly not be able to be. They may not be as emotionally available as even they would want to be, because of where we started here at the Knight of Cups. With this is the lower vibration though, right? With that lack of maturity. Now the higher vibration is the one that went through some changes and he has evolved just like you have, just like you're being perceived to be something of higher value, to be matured and, you know, elevated. This is someone that maybe perhaps went through a season of transformation and has come out golden with the sun, you know, illuminated or enlightened in some way, shape, or form. That's a different energy. But like I said, it's like you're gonna have to figure it out, because I don't know. But I know that there's something coming. That's what this Three of Wands is saying, that you can expect some type of offer, or just more with the Queen of Wands, and here with the Three of Wands, you can expect more attention, you know, like, and I gotta say, good, bad, or indifferent, because all of it may not be welcomed, you know, quite honestly. That's what I was saying about the Queen of Wands before. It's like she's used to getting attention, but learning what to engage and what not to has been the point of maturation. You know, in the lowest vibration, you know, a Queen of Wands energy just loves the attention so much, she could more or less get lost or finessed in it, you know, some type of way. But of course, and even those that were less mature, but more selective, still could get tripped up and just following their passion. So it's no tea, no shade on either one of those energies. But as you mature, you just start to gain stronger boundaries, you know, because you value what you're worth at a higher price than you once did before. You covet it more sacredly, you know, so you may or may not have even been putting yourself, this is some, you know, you could possibly be someone very attractive as with the Queen of Wands, but hasn't even really been too exposed lately because you're not interested in, and this could be personally, professionally, or intimately. Maybe you weren't into the dating scene, or you weren't looking for a mate, or you weren't looking to have new friends, or looking to get out there and socialize, or looking to, attract a whole lot of attention to your creativity in whatever way that gets to be. You go to work and you don't really want to be seen too much. You don't want to socialize at the water cooler or go out to lunch or whatever the case may be. But there's some type of breaking out or invitation to break out that is happening. It's happening, whether you like it or not. So either you're going to have to put yourself in gear to be saying a whole hell of a lot of no's and no thank yous, or get lost. I watch Doorbell News on YouTube, and that's one he'll always says, "Get lost." So that's where the Ring camera picks up like all the creepy things that people do at your front door. It's crazy, and I don't even know why I'm saying that, but I'm saying it. So there's that maybe you might be actually getting attention to your front door that you didn't solicit. Definitely a call for stronger boundaries. But either way, you can have an expectation that the sun is shining not only on you, but through you. There's no coincidence with the synergy here between the Sun card, which is Leo vibration, and also the Queen of Wands, which is definitely Leo, but of course always also Aries and Sagittarius. You're not going to be able to help but to be noticeable, even if you don't want to be seen. And then take it a step further where people are actually looking to engage and connect with you more intimately. It's happening, So like I said, what are you in the mood for? You kind of have to discern now. And maybe that's the point of all of this, to really start to be more intentional in what you're magnetizing towards yourself, being the attractive force of the Queen of Wands that you are. And this is masculine or feminine, right? Because the King of Wands is here too, So really being intentional about specifically what you're calling into yourself. You may still get a little debris of this and that, just par for the course, but more intentionality about what you're drawing in, what you're manifesting, what you wish to engage might be needed and necessary. And it may actually help to kind of like do some of the heavy lifting of rejection for you, like to kind of keep some things at bay that you don't have any intention of entertaining at all, so you don't even have to bother with it. I don't know why I'm saying that, but it makes sense, but it kind of almost seems like too much sense to some degree, but for whatever reason, it's calling me to say that. Now here's another king, yet another king on the board with the King of Pentacles. Let's see, what's this energy telling me? Well, I mean, maybe this is the one you really want to be calling in. Maybe, because the King of Wands is like, yeah, he seems ideal, but he is next to the Seven of Swords, so I don't know if that's somebody trying to get over on him to slide up in there, or him coming with the intention to, I don't know. It's like, so that's telling me that there's some offers like multiple choice where, it's one that's like an absolute no, like hell no, I'm good on that. And then, or that's not, that's not the right one. And then there's usually like one or two that kind of look like it could be it. One is like really more veering on the probably not, but sorta. The other one is more like, this really could be it, but, and then of course there's always the one, you know what I mean? The one right answer. Hell, even if it's not E or D, none of the above. Well, in this case, it would be E, none of the above. It might be that too. I don't know. Again, it'll be up to you. But one thing's for sure is, like I said, the expectation, and at least I would say with the King of Pentacles, what I do like about him is that it feels like he's coming with an offer in hand, like something to offer, something to give, something to exchange. Like the King of Wands, I love him, but there's a lot of passion in that wand, but that wand really still does belong to him. At the end of the day, he still would have to take it back even after he plugged in, if you know what I mean. The King of Cups is like, you never quite know what's in the King of Cups cup. It could be too deep and murky for you, or it could just be intoxicating enough. You know what I mean? For it could be the love vibes that you want, but you just never know. So you're taking the gamble. At least with the King of Pentacles, you know exactly what it's on display. It's like, this what I got to offer. My bills is paid. My credit is good. The King of Pentacles is one who has a reputation of commitment and devotion. It's like the family man of all the kings, the one that don't mind settling down. He wants to be the nurturer, wants to provide, take care, is generous, but also prosperous. Like, that's the one you kind of do want to see coming to some degree. Somebody that has something to offer and is willing to offer, that is available for the exchange. The only one that's not on here is the King of Swords, which sometimes he could be a little bit emotionally detached. So there's that caveat with him, So I guess the enlivening aspect of all of this is that of all the possibilities, you're going to definitely have at least one that is an absolute yes. That is the answer to the question. Like, who is my partner, whether it be for a long time or just, for this season of life, whatever that gets to be. It's definitely something promising on the horizon. You can have great expectation for that. You just have to be mindful, though, because see how everything else came out before we got to the very end? And that kind of is how it sometimes happens, in life, where you get all these other options and possible distractions and detours before the real thing comes in. And the idea is not to get cuffed, with the wrong creative force, like to intertwine or entangled, I should say, with a force that it may not even necessarily be wrong for somebody else, but that's just not in alignment with what you truly are in the mood for, right? This season, or even, to keep the mood going for eternity, perhaps, or at least for some extended time. Like, if it's just a good time right now, then cool, do you, and be honest about it. If it's like, oh well, we'll see where it goes, then cool, be upfront with that too. But certainly the potential of long-term commitment certainly does rest with such as the King of Pentacles. He definitely has the potential to hang in there for a good time and a long time. And honestly, that's where I would feel comfortable resting, resting my laurels on, or with, or whatever. At this point in my life, like, that's something that I wouldn't mind taking a chance on, even if it did feel like a bit of a whirlwind, you know what I mean? Like, how do we get here type of thing. At least with the King of Pentacles, you can kind of have faith that no matter what, he's going to be dependable and reliable for the short term or the long run, whatever it gets to be. He's going to prove his value and his worth and reflect to you what is of yours as well. So anyway, whatever this means to you, I say enjoy yourself, honey. Definitely enjoy yourself. Be safe, be discerning, And another key thing I would like to talk about, since our tea bag, well, my tea bag, but the message from the tea bag said inner peace creates peace in the world. one of those signs and signals from your emotional intelligence and your intuition is a matter of peace. How do you feel well rested with the person? Not anxious, not eager, not, feeling those old energies of like, oh, I wonder what he's doing, or why hasn't he called, or oh my God, is he is he seeing someone else, or I wonder, is he feeling me? Like, if it, energies that don't like you, there should be no real room for interpretation at a certain point of connection, or at a certain point of at least the intention of intimacy, what, from my perspective. So I feel like if you feel anything less than peaceful, not just with a person, but even when you are not with a person, like your heart's not at ease, your spirit's not at rest, in peaceful anticipation of the next time you get to talk or come together, not like, oh, well, why hasn't he called, or when we're going to go out type. Like, if it's starting to incite that type of energy, first of all, it's a point of personal reflection as to why you're feeling triggered in that way, because maybe there's some old Six of Cups energies that need to be released or filtered out, that are, residue from past experiences that really have no connection to the present. But then again, that's for you to determine, right? But if it does start to, if you do start to see inconsistencies in behavior and in habits and in the integrity of the exchanges, whereas someone said they were going to call, or you had plans to do a thing and then you don't hear from them at all, or things like that, that's clear signs that this is not somebody that's stable, and there's really no good explanation for it. And even if there is, it's still kind of like, you got to be mindful as to what your heart can really contend with, especially depending on what level of healing or space of healing that you're in. And we're all in some space or stage of it. That is for sure. Okay. So I would say definitely a point of great potential is someone that you feel peaceful with, and that you feel peaceful waiting on, and you feel peaceful not talking to, and you feel peaceful thinking about, and you feel peaceful at the mere contemplation of the possibility of the future. Not anxious at all, not eager, not paranoid, none of the above. Literally. None of the above. And it's so important, because your inner peace is going to bring peace and balance to the connection, and your union is going to bring peace and balance to your piece of the world, literally your piece, your place in the world, and hopefully even beyond that. So it all matters. It's very important. You can never underestimate the power and the prosperity of peace. It's the most invaluable measure of energy that we can possess, really and truly. All right. So anyway, like I said, enjoy yourself, have a good time. And yeah, make positive decisions out there, peacefully so. And don't be afraid to say no, or just outright peace. And with that being said, until next time, as always, I leave you with peace.